Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime channel. The deity known as Nika, the sun god, is a very powerful being who resides inside a devil fruit, as the person responsible for bringing world change, bringing freedom to all those who had it taken from Sekai Seifu, or even by other people. As she is an extremely powerful deity, he carries with her two extremely powerful weapons, and may appear in the work in the future through the hands of the current bearer of this fruit, Monkey D. Luffy. In today's video, we will talk about all the information we have so far about Nika, and also talk about the powerful legendary weapons that this deity possessed in the past. Before we dive into the video, don't forget to smash that like button, give us a thumbs up to unlock your devil fruit powers, and hit that subscribe button to awaken. Now, let's jump into the video. Guys, Nika is a mythical warrior, revered as the sun god by those who have their freedom taken away. He is a kind of liberating deity responsible for changing the world. Since ancient times, Nika has emerged as an enigmatic and powerful figure in the vast mythology of One Piece. His story, intertwined with mystery and secrets, comes to light through fragmented accounts, legends, and the mysterious devil fruit, model Nika. According to the oldest records, Nika was a being worshipped by people who did not have freedom, who fervently believed that he would free them from suffering. Nika's existence was initially mentioned by Who's Who, a former member of CP9, who heard of the legend while imprisoned by Sekai Seifu. Dr. Vegapunk, renowned scientist and researcher, confirms the presence of ancient records about Nika, but strangely, the figure has been erased from more modern documents. The legend of Nika is further shrouded in mystery due to the Zoan-type devil fruit called Hito no Mi model Nika. This fruit grants the consumer the characteristics and abilities of Nika himself. Sekai Seifu, for unknown reasons, shows an exceptional interest in this fruit, to the point of covering up its identity, renaming it Gomu no Mi. This tactic is intended to discourage the search for her, including by the four emperors and their crews, who appear to be ignorant of her true nature. Currently, Monkey D. Luffy holds the powers of this fruit, referred to by the five elders as Nika. Veneration for Nika dates back to ages past, fueling people's hopes of being freed from their chains. Although Nika's true existence remains uncertain, the devil fruit associated with him has been the target of Sekai Seifu for centuries. The fruit, initially known as Hito no Mi model Nika, was finally acquired by the government around 13 years ago, but was stolen by the red-haired pirates, with Who's Who as unwitting witnesses to the incident. 7-year-old Monkey D. Luffy unexpectedly ate this powerful unknown fruit, triggering a series of events that connect him to the legend of Nika and a great hidden goal. After a defeat against Kaido, Luffy awakened the fruit's true powers, marking a rare event after centuries. This awakening is accompanied by references to Nika in the way Luffy moves and expresses himself, suggesting a deeper connection between the myth and the fruit's power. An interesting fact about this fruit is that Nika is its association with the title Joy Boy, a very important link for the future of One Piece's work. Those who awaken the true power of this fruit achieve Joy Boy status, indicating a cycle that transcends history. The original figure known as Joy Boy from the Void Century played a crucial role on Fishman Island and left a valuable item on the last island of the Grand Line. With the revelation that Luffy, after awakening the powers of the Hito no Mi model Nika, is considered the new Joy Boy, the narrative connects in a surprising way with prophecies and ancient poneglyphs. Luffy's heartbeat, now synchronized with the drums of liberation, symbolizes the return of Joy Boy, indicating that he may be the key to the longed-for freedom. Nika, as a mythical figure, continues to intrigue One Piece characters and fans as the story unfolds, gradually revealing the secrets surrounding this deity, her devil fruit, and her crucial role in the quest for freedom. Joy Boy, the one who wields the powers of the Hito no Mi devil fruit model Nika, emerges as a catalyst for change, a beacon of hope in a world marked by oppression and inequality. Those who inherit the title of Joy Boy are charged with a transcendent mission to bring great transformation to the world, freeing those who cry out for help. This role extends beyond the simple mastery of superhuman abilities to encompass a cosmic responsibility to dispel the currents of ignorance, prejudice, greed, and conflict that permeate society. Joy Boy's narrative takes on an important character, where the legendary figure is not only a source of power, but also an agent of liberation. Those oppressed, without freedoms, and marginalized find refuge in the promise of Joy Boy, whose presence is a call to emancipation. The devil fruit associated with Nika, with its mythical powers, serves as a means for this radical change, a tool that transcends physical and social barriers. Joy Boy represents a force against tyranny and exploitation, confronting the power structures that perpetuate oppression. Those who hold this title are driven to challenge established norms, question the existing order, and inspire others to do the same. Your presence in the world of One Piece is a sign of hope, a light that shines in the darkest corners, signaling the arrival of an era where freedom prevails. Joy Boy's mission is not just limited to physical liberation, but extends to the realm of the mind and heart, dispelling entrenched prejudices, eradicating the ignorance that fuels hatred and greed are essential elements of the revolution that Joy Boy promises. The title is not just a badge of power, but a call to empathy, mutual understanding, and building a world where differences are celebrated, not feared. The connection between Joy Boy and the legend of Nika, with its origins in the devil fruit renamed Gomu Gomu no Mi, adds a layer of complexity to the mythology, suggesting that the quest for freedom is intricately intertwined with the identity of this mythical deity. As the story of One Piece unfolds, Joy Boy's understanding as a herald of fundamental change continues to evolve, allowing the entire world to begin to change because of this power. The legend of Nika, the great warrior revered as the sun god, gains new depth when we consider the artifacts he wielded. Nika's mysterious silhouette, highlighting him with a sword and a spear, opens the door to fascinating speculation about the role of these weapons in the quest for freedom. The representation of Nika as a warrior holding a sword and a spear symbolizes that Nika, in addition to great power, also has great mastery in martial skills. The sword, a classic symbol of honor and justice, could be more than just an ordinary weapon. There are indications that this mysterious sword may be one of the 12 supreme swords, legendary for their exceptional quality and power. These weapons, endowed with unique abilities, are mentioned in the One Piece Chronicles as artifacts of great importance. The spear that Nika wields is not just an ordinary artifact either. Her importance extends beyond the battlefield, suggesting she could play a crucial role in the quest for freedom. The link between the weapons and Nika's powers, as conferred by the Hito Hito no Mi devil fruit model, Nika, suggests that these weapons were chosen strategically by the ancient wielders of that power. Rubber, a hallmark of Nika's powers, may have been a crucial consideration in choosing these weapons, making them perfect tools for exploiting the unique capabilities afforded by the fruit. Speculation about Nika's weapons fuels the belief that they may have a connection with freedom. If the ultimate swords are, in fact, linked to Nika, it could indicate that these weapons are not just instruments of war, but symbols of a greater cause. The quest for freedom, justice, and equality may be rooted in these legendary weapons, transforming them into icons of the revolution. Utilizing the rubber abilities provided by the fruit of Nika may have given the swords and spear unparalleled potential. The ability to stretch and shape, hallmarks of rubber's powers, expands the use of these weapons, giving them versatility and effectiveness in different situations. As One Piece's narrative unfolds, the importance of Nika's weapons may become increasingly apparent. They can represent not only objects of power, but keys that unlock the gates of freedom. The sword and spear wielded by Nika, the mythical warrior venerated as the sun god, are not merely legendary artifacts, but instruments imbued with extraordinary power, especially in the hands of the holders of Nika's legacy. The combination of these weapons, with the powers granted by the Hito Hito no Mi devil fruit model, Nika creates a unique synergy capable of shaping the course of history in search of freedom. The sword, possibly one of the 12 ultimate swords, becomes an extension of Nika's own power. His blows, guided by the mastery of the mythical warrior, take on an incomparable quality. Legend suggests that the sword can cut through more than mere matter. It can cut the chains of oppression and pave the way for a freer tomorrow. Being a sword without limitation, just like its wielder, being able to cut everything that stands in its path. The elasticity conferred by the rubber powers provided by Nika's fruit could further enhance the sword's effectiveness, allowing for swift movements and surprising attacks that defy expectations. The spear, in turn, becomes a symbol of resistance and an essential tool in the fight for freedom. In the hands of those who possess the powers of the Hito Hito no Mi model, Nika, the spear becomes more than an ordinary weapon. The ability to stretch and contract, combined with the warrior's dexterity, transforms the spear into a versatile extension of the body itself. This versatility, when mixed with the purpose of freedom, creates a formidable arsenal capable of transcending the barriers imposed by tyranny. The power of these weapons is accentuated by the fact that they are wielded by someone who has inherited the title of Joy Boy. Joy Boy, upon awakening the true powers powers of Nika's devil fruit, not only channels the mythical warrior's legacy, but becomes the embodiment of his quest for freedom. Every blow struck with the sword, every thrust with the spear, is imbued not just with physical strength, but with the fervor of a greater cause. Nika's sword and spear, in this context, are more than weapons. They are instruments of radical change. In skilled hands, they can dispel prejudices, break the chains that bind them, and create a path to a world where greed and conflict give way to harmony and equality. These legendary weapons are a tangible expression of Nika's power, a driving force in the eternal fight for freedom. As One Piece's narrative continues to unfold, the importance of these weapons in the quest for freedom may become even more prominent. Nika's sword and spear, together with the powers of the devil fruit, hold the promise of a transformed future. The Gomu Gomu no Mi, formerly known as Hito Hito no Mi, Nika model, is one of the most notable and intriguing devil fruits in the One Piece universe, mainly due to its totally distinct rubbery characteristic. Monkey D. Luffy. This fruit grants its bearer a peculiar transformation, a rubber body that stretches, bends, and contorts in unimaginable ways. The elasticity provided by this fruit of freedom is an extraordinary phenomenon, carrying with it profound meanings in relation to the search for freedom. Luffy's rubber body, the result of the awakening of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, symbolizes the flexibility necessary to defy the bonds of oppression. Rubber is a material known for its malleability and resistance, characteristics that echo the essence of the fight for freedom. While others can be broken, Luffy's rubber body demonstrates a remarkable ability to stretch and adapt, resisting the blows that try to stop his journey. Luffy's metamorphosis into a rubber warrior isn't just a physical transformation. It is a symbolic representation of his quest for the impossible. Luffy's elastic body is a literal manifestation of the flexibility of his mind and spirit, crucial elements in the fight against oppressive systems. Just as rubber returns to its original shape after being stretched, Luffy recovers and persists, reflecting the resilience needed to defy the forces that restrict freedom. Gear 5. As an evolved form of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, elevates Luffy's elasticity to new heights. He transcends physical limits, allowing Luffy to perform extraordinary feats, like running through the air, spinning like a top, and even shaping the environment around you. The rubber body, now cartoonishly malleable, is a visual expression of the outsized power that emerges when freedom reaches its peak. The nature of the Gomu Gomu no Mi also highlights the irony of this power considered ridiculous. The concept of elasticity, often associated with the comical and the extravagant, has become a powerful tool in the search for freedom. Luffy's body turning into rubber isn't just a quirk, it is an allegory of the ability to overcome adversity and challenge established norms. By becoming the liberation warrior, Luffy embodies not only the physical elasticity, but also the flexibility of thought that is essential in fighting the chains of oppression. The Gomu Gomu no Mi, under Nika's aegis, not only grants a rubber body, she brings to life an ever-expanding metaphor of the eternal quest for freedom. The essential characteristic of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the transformation of the body into rubber, is not just a physical expression, but a vibrant symbol of the freedom linked to Nika's power. The elasticity of Monkey D. Luffy's body transcends conventional limitations, allowing for fluid movement and a freedom of movement that echoes the ideals of the sun god revered as Nika. The elasticity of Nika's fruit becomes the visual embodiment of untethered freedom. By becoming a rubber warrior, Luffy is no longer confined by the physical restrictions that affect others. His body stretches and bends in ways that defy gravity and conventional norms. This mastery over one's physical form is, in itself, an allegory of the struggle for freedom, the ability to transcend the barriers imposed by society, politics, or destiny. By moving without restriction, Luffy embodies the idea that freedom is the ability to explore the world without being hindered by invisible chains. Its rubber body knows no fixed limits, allowing you to glide between obstacles and challenges with unparalleled grace. Each stretch and twist represents a bold rejection of oppression, symbolizing the ability to shape your own destiny. The freedom of movement granted by Luffy's elasticity also highlights the revolutionary nature of the sun god Nika, whose myth is intertwined with the promise of emancipation. Those who seek freedom often face obstacles and imprisonment, but Gomu Gomu no Mi challenges this this narrative. Luffy's rubber body is a response to the idea that freedom is a right that everyone deserves, something that cannot be confined or restricted. The symbolism of elasticity goes beyond mere physical flexibility. It reflects freedom of expression, choice, and resistance. Luffy's rubber body is a way of demonstrating his great freedom and ability to shape his body any way he wants, depending only on his creativity. By stretching his limbs towards the horizon, Luffy not only moves without physical restrictions, but also embodies the resilience and strength necessary to defy imposed conventions. Nika, the sun god, is revered as a herald of liberation. The Gomu Gomu no Mi, by granting its bearer unprecedented elasticity, becomes the tool that transforms the body into a walking symbol of freedom. Luffy's untethered movement, free and unchallenged, is the ultimate expression of Nika's promise. The promise of a world where freedom is as natural as the elasticity of her own form. The enigma surrounding Nika's legendary weapons, the sword and spear, is intriguing and involves this mythical figure and his connection to Joy Boy. The search for these mysterious artifacts leads us to speculation about their possible whereabouts, delving into the depths of lost history and forgotten lands. One theory suggests that Nika's legendary weapons may have been left in the Great Kingdom, an ancient domain that is believed to have been annihilated by the kingdoms that eventually formed Sakai Saifu. Joy Boy, being possibly a former inhabitant or even the king of this great kingdom, could have entrusted these weapons to his loyal subjects for protection. After the fall of the Great Kingdom, the weapons may have been hidden, lost in the labyrinth of history, and forgotten over time, waiting to be rediscovered by a worthy successor. Another theory points to Elbaf as a possible birthplace of the legendary weapons. Being a place where Nika is worshipped by giants, and considering that Joy Boy is worshipped as a deity among them, it is plausible that the ancient Joy Boy had a deep connection to this colossal island. The possibility that Joy Boy was a giant, or even used the powers of the Gomu Gomu no Mi to become one, becomes an intriguing hypothesis. If such is the case, he could have entrusted the weapons to the giants of Elbaf as guardians, awaiting the moment when a new Joy Boy would emerge to claim his legacy. Joy Boy's relationship with Elbaf also justifies the preservation of weapons as a sacred treasure. The ancient giants, revering Nika and Joy Boy, would have taken it upon themselves to protect these weapons as divine relics, awaiting the return of the heir destined to wield them. The mystery surrounding Nika's legendary weapons is not just a search for lost artifacts, but a journey to unravel the complexities of history and unearth secrets that shaped the world of One Piece. As the narrative continues to unfold, the hope of finding these legendary weapons becomes even more intriguing and interesting, promising revelations that could change the course of history as we know it. The search for Nika's legendary weapons, the sword and spear, is covered in a mystery that is beyond time, a search lasting many years in an attempt to discover the whereabouts of these two powerful weapons. Speculation about their possible whereabouts leads to intriguing considerations about the magnitude of their significance and the great power that these legendary combat tools possess. Regardless of where these weapons are hidden, their access may be restricted to a select circle of individuals, specifically those who hold the sacred title of Joy Boy. The hypothesis that the legendary weapons are stored in a place inaccessible to ordinary eyes is reinforced by the mythical figure of Joy Boy, whose role transcends mere mortality. Joy Boy is more than an individual with the power of a deity. It is a title that carries with it a cosmic responsibility and a destiny intertwined with freedom and change. The possibility that these weapons are situated in a hidden place, access to which is granted only to those who bear the title of Joy Boy, adds an additional dimension to the already rich mythology of One Piece. Joy Boy's legacy, it seems, is linked to the Gomu Gomu no Mi and the legendary weapons he left behind. These powerful artifacts may be stored in a secret refuge, protected by mechanisms or enchantments that can only be unlocked by an individual who meets the specific criteria to become Joy Boy. This possible restricted location could be hidden on a remote island, beneath the depths of the sea, or even in an interdimensional dimension, protected by a mystical aura that recognizes and accepts only those destined to follow in the footsteps of the legendary Joy Boy. The idea that only Joy Boy, or the one destined to inherit his title, can claim these weapons adds an element of destiny to the narrative. This implies the next Joy Boy, in this case, Luffy. He is fated to discover and wield these legendary artifacts to fulfill his role in the course of history. This exclusivity highlights the magnitude of Nika's weapons and their importance to the balance of the world of One Piece. So, as the search for Nika's legendary weapons continues, the possibility remains that only Joy Boy, or his worthy successor, can unlock the true power of these artifacts. With Monkey D. Luffy's ascension ascension to the title of Joy Boy, unleashing Nika's dormant power that resides within him. A new saga of adventures and challenges would unfold. Now that he has this great objective to be accomplished, Luffy would embark on an epic journey in search of Nika's legendary weapons, the sword and spear, in order to become even more formidable and prepared for the confrontations that are emerging in this final saga from One Piece. The discovery that Luffy would be the new Joy Boy would not only revolutionize the narrative, but also shed light on the true extent of the power and determination he would carry. As Joy Boy, Luffy would be the vital link that would connect the present with the past, and his mission would transcend the search for freedom. Now, he would become the keeper of the secrets and weapons that shaped the world. Determined to reach his destiny, Luffy would begin the search for Nika's legendary weapons. Every clue, every legend, and every riddle would become the rungs of a ladder that would lead you to these powerful artifacts. He would face formidable challenges, surprising revelations, and confrontations that would test not only his physical strength, but also his emotional resilience and strategic wisdom. The importance of these legendary weapons would become even more evident as the imminent threat intensified. Luffy, now aware of the responsibility that would fall on his shoulders, would understand that weapons would be fundamental pieces on the board of destiny. They would represent not just raw power, but the key to unlocking ancient mysteries, and, perhaps, the hope of reshaping the world into a place where freedom would be truly universal. Luffy's search for Nika's legendary weapons would not just be a quest for power, it would be a mission to gather the necessary elements to face the most powerful and unknown enemies that would hide in the shadows. The fate of the world of One Piece would be in Luffy's hands, and the legendary weapons would be the means by which he would shape the course of history, changing the world in the way you want for a better world. As the journey progressed, Luffy would not be alone. Your crewmates, loyal allies, and even new characters who cross your path will join together in the search for these powerful weapons. The final saga of One Piece promises to be an explosion of emotion, revelations, and epic confrontations, where Luffy, like Joy Boy, would face his destiny with courage and determination, guiding not only his crew, but the course of the world itself. With the conquest of Nika's legendary weapons, the sword and spear, Monkey D. Luffy would reach a new level of power, transcending the notion of conventional strength and becoming the catalyst for change in the world of One Piece. Joy Boy's legacy, now embodied by Luffy, would trigger a revolution in storytelling, promising an epic rise in his journey and an imminent confrontation against the most formidable enemies he had ever faced. Encountering the legendary weapons would grant Luffy unparalleled power, a perfect fusion between the elastic attributes of the Gomu Gomu no Mi and the deadly dexterity of Nika's weapons. The sword, possibly one of the 12 supreme swords, and the spear, imbued with ancient power, would amplify Luffy's already extraordinary abilities, elevating him to a level where few would dare challenge him. The sword, in his hands, would become a natural extension of his will. The blade would cut through reality, delivering blows that would defy the laws of physics, while the spear, with its ancient power, would penetrate the hearts of its adversaries with the precision of a divine sentence. The synergy between Luffy's rubber body and legendary weapons would transform him into a force of nature, capable of reshaping the battlefield at will. In addition to pure combat capability, Joy Boy's weapons would grant Luffy a deeper understanding of the events that shaped the world. The secrets of these two ancient weapons could reveal secrets and mysteries of the ancient wielder of these weapons, allowing Luffy a better understanding of the past. The knowledge accumulated over eons would now be in the hands of whoever held the title of Joy Boy. With this power, Luffy would not just be a warrior, he would be an agent of change. His quest for freedom, now amplified by legendary weapons, would transcend the limits of what would be considered possible. He would become the herald of a new era, someone whose influence would shape the fate of islands, nations, and even the global balance. Luffy's journey, now imbued with Joy Boy's legacy and fueled by legendary weapons, would lead to an epic confrontation against powerful and unknown enemies. His power, driven by the synergy of rubber, steel, and ancient power, would promise to redefine the limits of what would be achievable in the One Piece universe. Thus, as Luffy would advance towards the pinnacle of power, carrying with him weapons that would echo the size of ancient times, the world would prepare for a seismic shift where the past, present, and future would intertwine in a frenzied dance driven by will, unbreakable of a new Joy Boy. With Nika's legendary weapons, the sword and spear, firmly in his hands, Monkey D. Luffy would rise to a level of power that would transcend any known limits. The perfect fusion between the elastic attributes of the Gomu Gomu no Mi and the deadly dexterity of the legendary weapons would grant Luffy formidable strength, elevating him to an unparalleled level of mastery mastery. The sword, possibly one of the 12 ultimate swords, would become a natural extension of Luffy's will. His blade would cut through reality, defying the laws of physics, while the spear, imbued with ancient power, would pierce the hearts of his adversaries with the precision of a divine sentence. The synergy between Luffy's rubber body and these legendary weapons would transform him into a force of nature, capable of reshaping the battlefield at will. With this knowledge, Luffy would not only master the art of war, but also become an astute strategist, anticipating adversary moves and planning with surgical precision. The elasticity of Nika's fruit, now enhanced by legendary weapons, would give Luffy unprecedented mobility. He would move across the battlefield with grace and agility, dodging enemy attacks with ease and responding with precise, devastating blows. The combination of the rubber's resistance and the weapon's lethality would create a symphony of destruction that would echo across the seas, leaving its opponents stunned by its strength. The true height of Luffy's power would be revealed when he would unleash techniques that would combine the powers of the Gomu Gomu no Mi with the unique properties of Joy Boy's weapons. Strikes that would defy the laws of physics, slashes that would cut through space, and lunges that would transcend common understanding would all become part of Luffy's repertoire. Every movement would be an expression of the perfect union between man, fruit, and legendary weapons. With his new achievements, Luffy would become an unstoppable figure, facing enemies that would previously have been considered invincible. His presence in the world of One Piece would not only be that of a legendary pirate, but that of a catalyst for change. Nika's weapons, now in Luffy's possession, would not just be instruments of war. They would be symbols of freedom and hope for all those who longed for a world free from oppression and tyranny. Thus, with Nika's legendary weapons in his hands, Monkey D. Luffy would become the embodiment of an ancient prophecy, a hero whose legend would echo through the centuries. His path would be set towards the unknown, where even greater challenges await. But, armed with Joy Boy's legacy and the supreme power he would now possess, Luffy would face each obstacle with unwavering determination and the promise of a new era for the world of One Piece. Nika, the ancient entity whose power rests in the legendary weapons now in the hands of Monkey D. Luffy, is not just a dormant force, but a force with a defined purpose. Nika's ultimate goal transcends the ages, a mission that, through Luffy, manifests as an unwavering determination to free all those who have had their freedom brutally taken away. Nika's will is clear and completely clear. He wants to overthrow the oppressive structures that have kept the world under this oppressive aura of tyranny in One Piece for so long. The Sakai Seifu and the world nobles, the architects of this oppression, became prime targets. Nika, through Luffy, brings with her not only the legendary weapons, but the promise of a revolt against the system that sustains the chains that constantly bind people and injustice. Sakai Seifu, the clandestine organization that manipulates behind-the-scenes power, and the world nobles, who live in luxury at the expense of other people's freedom, become the main antagonists in the search for liberation. Nika, through Luffy, undertakes a daring journey to challenge and ultimately dethrone these merciless oppressors. Luffy's every step is an affront to the system, a declaration that the age of subjugation is coming to an end. The fall of Sakai Seifu and the world nobles will trigger a cascade of seismic changes. It will be the collapse of the structures that keep nations in check, the crumbling of the hierarchies that perpetuate inequality. With the fall of these titans, the world will enter an era of profound transformations, where everyone will finally be able to be free without having any more ties that bind them or limits doing something against their will. Nika's vision, now embodied in Luffy, is a utopia in motion. Freedom, which for so long was a privilege denied to many, becomes a tangible reality. The chains are replaced by the promise of a tomorrow where everyone, regardless of their origin or status, can breathe freely. It is a revolution that not only alters the course of history, but returns dignity to all those who have been oppressed. As Luffy advances, challenging the pillars of oppressive power, he becomes the embodiment of hope for those whose voices have been silenced, truly becoming the light of hope for humanity. His deeds resonate as a call for liberation, inspiring others to rise up against the oppression that has defined their reality for so long. Nika's mission, accomplished through Luffy, becomes the epic of emancipation. As Luffy advances, challenging the pillars of oppressive power, he becomes the embodiment of hope for those whose voices have been silenced. His deeds resonate as a call for liberation, inspiring others to rise up against the oppression that has defined their reality for so long. Nika's mission, accomplished through Luffy, becomes the epic of emancipation. Thus, Nika's ultimate purpose, to dethrone those responsible for the deprivation of freedom, merges with Luffy's journey. The fall of Sakai, Seifu, and the world nobles is not just the defeat of oppressive institutions, but the beginning of a new era of freedom and peace. The utopia that Nika longed for is finally woven into the fabric of destiny, guided by the elastic hands of a new joy boy, Monkey D. Luffy, the young man who will finally bring freedom to everyone. As Luffy advances fearlessly, each confrontation with the agents of oppression is a battle for each individual's inalienable right to freedom. Luffy's heroic deeds echo across the seas, inspiring those who lived in the shadows of subjugation to raise their voices and join the cause. The message is clear: tyranny is no longer acceptable, and the revolution led by Luffy is unstoppable. The rubble of oppressive structures bears witness to the change that is emerging on the horizon. Nika's legacy, passed down through legendary weapons, is now shaped by Luffy into a narrative of freedom and equality. As prisons crumble and shackles are undone, nations once divided by inequality begin to heal. The dawning of a new era is reflected in the faces of those who, for the first time, experience the taste of true freedom. Entire communities emerge from the shadows, rising against the bonds that have held them captive for so long. Citizens, once hostage to fear and oppression, now embrace the hope of a future where their autonomy is respected and protected by a deity they have longed for over the years. The revolution led by Luffy is not only physical, but also symbolic. Every victory, every challenge overcome, is a reminder that collective will can overcome even the most oppressive systems. Luffy isn't just the wielder of the legendary weapons, he becomes the embodiment of change, the catalyst of a revolution that transcends geographical and cultural barriers. And so, as the flames of revolt light the skies, Luffy, as the new Joy Boy, leads the world toward an era of universal freedom. Tales of their exploits become legend, inspiring future generations to continue the search for a world where justice, equality, and freedom are more than mere dreams, but tangible realities. Luffy's journey, guided by Nika's vision, is not just the conclusion of a saga. It is the beginning of a new era for the world of One Piece, completely changing the pillars of power that make up this world. A chapter where the shackles of oppression are replaced by the promise of a brighter tomorrow, where each individual can chart their own destiny, free from the shadows that previously obscured the horizon. Thus, Nika's legacy and Luffy's bravery intertwine, writing a story of liberation and hope that will echo through the centuries. That's a wrap for today's content. We hope you enjoyed it and want to share your thoughts on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and catch you in the next video. Take care and stay awesome.